Hi, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org, and in my last video I did an analysis on a report given by Dr. Michael Greger, who was reporting on some of the research that's been done about nutrition as it relates to hiatal hernia. And in those studies he concluded that one of the number one contributors to hiatal hernia, if not the number one contributor to hiatal hernia, is constipation and the act of bearing down in order to pass a bowel movement, because it creates so much pressure intragastrically and pushes your stomach up against your diaphragm. Hi, Wendy. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some things that you can do to overcome constipation and to get your digestion moving regularly so that you can not have to bear down in order to pass a bowel movement. Hi, Martha Lee. And so what I'm going to be sharing today isn't anything new. It's all stuff that you guys have heard of before. And remember that I'm not a doctor. If you want to hear more about my credentials, you can go to my website, pamfox.org, in the About Me section. And you can learn more about how I reverse my hiatal hernia naturally there as well. So the first thing, obviously, is your diet. So your diet combined with good hydration and movement. That's like the number one thing that you can do to really get your digestion in proper order, to heal your digestive tract, to heal your gut, and to get things moving at the pace that they were meant to be moving. Easy flow. And so let's first talk about movement. So if you're sedentary a lot, if you sit all day at work, if you drive a lot, you drive all day for work, you just don't get very much movement, that's going to be contributing to constipation in the first place. So, and we have to kind of take a step back and define what constipation is. So some people think it's just maybe they're only passing a bowel movement once or twice a week, but really it's that, but it's also it's the ease at which your digestion flows. So we want to get your digestion flowing easily and regularly. And with whole foods plant-based diet, that's the best way that you can do that. But we were talking about movement. So my suggestion for you, if you just feel like, maybe you sit at a desk all day and you just really can't incorporate in movement, I'm here to tell you that you can. Maybe you can set a little alarm on your phone a couple of times a day and just get up and walk around your building. Just get some type of movement. Walking is great because you're going to be swinging your arms and rotating your torso, and so that's what we want. We want some type of stretching or movement for the torso. So, but even if you can, at your desk, stand and do some stretching, anything where you're bending side to side, reaching up, bending over. If bending over irritates your hiatal hernia, you don't want to do that. But anything where, twists are really good. So you can just let your arms swing side to side, and that's going to be really beneficial and feel good on your back as well in most cases. So get some type of movement if you're having difficulty because your lifestyle just is not, it's very sedentary. So get some type of movement. And then hydration is going to be also very important because your stools will be softer if you're properly hydrated. And so obviously water is going to be the best, but if you drink a lot of coffee or caffeinated beverages, don't be tricked into thinking, well, I drink a lot of coffee, that's got water in it, or alcohol or some of these different things. Water is best. Coffee is a known diuretic, and so it's going to pull water from the stool, making it harder, making it flow, with less ease and regularity. So if you are a coffee drinker, just be sure to be drinking plenty of additional water. And I'm going to talk about this later. This is going to be my suggestion for an alternative to coffee. I'm going to talk about that later. So moving on to nutrition. So a whole foods plant-based diet is where you're eating your foods in as close to their whole form as much as possible. So it doesn't mean you have to be on an all raw foods diet. It means eat the foods that you already love, but find a plant-based recipe version of those foods so that you're incorporating in more whole plant foods. And it doesn't even mean, it's going to mean different things for different people. It might not even mean eliminating meat, dairy, and eggs altogether. For some people, they're just going to cut way back and incorporate in more plant food. For others, they're going to take, go 100% and never touch meat, dairy, and eggs. And obviously you want to cut back on the highly processed foods as well that are filled with preservatives and chemicals. So foods as close to their whole form as possible and as much as possible. And cooked vegetables, you know, are going to be more easily digestible than raw anyway. So if you're trying to improve your digestion, cooked vegetables is great. Cooked food is great. So there are some exceptions to this when we talk about whole foods plant-based diet. Most of you have heard the buzz about, you know, wheat belly, wheat products, the dangers of wheat and legumes and nuts and these kinds of things. And while that can be true for some people, consider this. So if your digestive system is in a state of disrepair, if your system is in a state of disrepair, it's injured, it's swollen, it's irritated because you're on what we call the standard American diet, and it's injuring that system and it's always inflamed, and you're trying to improve constipation by going on a plant-based diet, and you know, maybe you're really sensitive to gluten, maybe you're really sensitive to legumes, and so maybe you need to cut back on those foods as well, is what I'm trying to say. So when I first went on a plant-based diet, I did a 30-day challenge, and I did eliminate gluten during those first 30 days. And then I reintroduced it later to see how I would do. And so maybe you have a piece of toast with your breakfast. Maybe you have a sandwich for lunch. Maybe you have some pasta or whatever. For me, I didn't have an issue with that. I didn't experience bloating. I didn't experience abdominal cramps. You know, all of the stuff I had had before I went on the plant-based diet, it didn't come back when I reintroduced. And so what I think happened was during that 30 days of eating a strict, really healthy, disciplined, whole foods, plant-based diet, lots of really good plant food, is that I healed my digestive tract. I healed my gut. You can reintroduce really great prebiotics and stimulate your gut flora with a plant-based nutrition and really just heal that digestive system. So, so those are some things you can consider, and I always recommend people try a 30-day plant-based challenge. If you're trying to get your digestive system back on track, you're trying to eliminate constipation, try a 30-day plant-based challenge. There's tons of information online, free and paid sources to help you, support you along the way with that. So try it for 30 days and see how you do. Again, there's a lot of hype out there about a lot of different diets, and really the only way you're going to know what diet is going to work for you and how it's going to affect your health is to try it. So try it. And the reason I always encourage you to do it disciplined and wholeheartedly, don't just do like 70% or 80% or 95%, is because you really won't know what a diet will do for you unless you truly stick to it. So if you're still eating a little bit of dairy here and there, or whatever it is, you know, your guilty pleasure of a donut a day or whatever it is, and you don't notice the profound effect on your health that so many people are talking about, their experience, then maybe it's because your digestive tract is so injured, it really needs you to give it 100%. It really needs that 100%. So, all right, so moving on. So that's my number one recommendation is quality diet with hydration and movement. That's going to be the best thing I can recommend to really get your digestion on track and moving regularly and with ease. So I'm just going to share 3 more things. I'm going to be, this is a coffee replacement that's good for digestion, and then I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to make a quick smoothie as well. So this, I'm straining live, so I know it's all backwards, but this is this is Dandy Blend. It's called Dandy Blend, and it's extracts of roasted barley, rye, chicory root, dandelion root, and sugar beetroot. So it just comes in these little packages, and it's dehydrated, what I just said, and then created into a powder form. You can just put this in hot water and drink it as a tea. So you could add, and this isn't something, you know, these suggestions that I'm giving, excuse me, they aren't, it's not just a one-time thing. These are things you need to implement into your daily regimen, right? So you can have that regularity. So you can put these in hot water. You could do a latte. I like to do in my latte maker, just put it right in with a little bit of plant-based milk and then add a little bit of water to make it a little bit bigger. So that's one suggestion to promote good digestion. And then obviously prunes. So these I get at Costco, and they're also a great source. They're a great source of fiber. They have sorbitol in them, which is why they say they're so good for digestion. but they're, you know, they're high in potassium, iron. They're just a really amazing, delicious supplement to your diet. Martha, it's called Dandy Blend. And I got this at some health food store. I can't remember where. And it's really delicious. It doesn't taste anything like coffee. It is caffeine free. But it's really delicious, and you don't have to add any sugar to it. I really like it. I think it's really good. So prunes, what you want to do with the prunes is just eat them, or take 2 or 3, and once a day, maybe first thing in the morning, just put them in a little bowl of water and let them soak all day, and then eat them at the end of the day. Or you could do this every night before you go to bed. Just put 2 or 3 in a little bowl of water, let them soak, and eat them first thing in the morning, and drink the water. They're just going to absorb more water for you, so that you're, again, promoting good hydration. Or just eat them. Or you can put them in your smoothie, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. And then the smoothie. So let's do a smoothie really quick. I'm going to be doing a green smoothie. And this smoothie, one of the reasons I love smoothies is because you can custom them for you. So whether you're trying to overcome constipation in order to help reverse your hiatal hernia, or maybe, you know, you're anemic. Maybe you struggle with anemia, so you could put, you know, a daily green boost powder in there. Maybe you get infections really easily. So Brazil nuts are really high in selenium, which is a super duper good antioxidant. So you could put 1 or 2 of those in your smoothie if you're trying to boost your immunity. I'm going to be putting flaxseed in my smoothie today. These are also really, really good for digestion and ease of digestion. And I have a Vitamix, which means I can put flax seeds right into my smoothie and it will grind them up. But if you have a regular blender, you're going to want to grind these first in like a grinder or a coffee maker, a coffee bean grinder or something like that. Because a regular blender won't grind up flax seeds. But yeah, you can custom your smoothies to whatever, you know, your issues are, and put in there whatever you need. So today's smoothie is going to be a green smoothie. So this is really good for those of you suffering with GERD, both because of the benefits of the ingredients, but also because there aren't any of the common trigger foods for GERD in this recipe. So, so listen up if you want this recipe. I'm not going to post it. It's basically, you're going to put in some type of green. Okay, I'm going to be using rainbow kale. And I'm going to put, I usually do 2 really large handfuls and just kind of poke it down so that my blender is about half full. And I'm going to be putting in a banana. Excuse me, and you want to make sure that your bananas are spotted like this. And the reason for that is because the fruit has fully ripened at this point, and green bananas are known to cause constipation. So, and that goes for unripe fruit in general. They're just going to cause things to slow down and not move with ease. So with the Vitamix, it's important to put something frozen in here, and if not, to put some ice in there, because it is a high-powered blender. If you want your smoothie to be cold, you need to put something frozen in there. So I always keep these frozen bananas on hand. So for me, this is going to be the total of 2 bananas. I've got 1 frozen and one not frozen. So I am going to put, did I already put a Brazil nut in there? I'm going to put 2. And I'm going to put some, this is just flaxseed. I'll just do about half a tablespoon of that. And then of course, you're going to want to put water in there. And this is just some filtered water. And I like to fill it up. You can kind of see where it comes up to the line of the greens. But I mean, you can do this however you want. If you like a really kind of a thicker texture, like a milkshake, you can do that. I like mine more like a juice. So I tend to put more water in this. Okay, do I have everything in here? Oh, I'm gonna put 2 of these prunes. This is great just in general to put in any smoothie, prunes or dates, because they add a little additional natural sweetener. Usually let that run for about 30 seconds just because that flaxseed is in there. If I didn't put the flaxseed in there, I wouldn't have to blend it for quite so long. But as you can see, it's a nice, beautiful green. And it's delicious. It's very, very good. And I like to add a little bit of lemon to this as well. I'm just out, so maybe the juice of half a lemon. Combined with the sweet from that prune gives it a nice tang without making it really sour. All right, so I think that's it. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. So I want to say Happy New Year to everyone that's watching. My husband and I celebrated last night. We had a really lovely time. I'm not much of a drinker, and I did have some alcohol last night, so I'm really having a hard time kind of getting my day started. I'm going to feel much better when I finish drinking this. So Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you so much for watching.